right. Welcome to Watopian Weekly, Season 5, Episode 1. We're on video! Hey! We're in color.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Watopian Weekly is a podcast for Zwifters, Cyclists, and everyone else. Each week, we are here to discuss all things Zwift, life, and beyond. And with me today is a guy who can ride his bike at all hours of the night and day. And he can't wait to do it for this year's ZRL. How many have you done in a day, James? Is it only 2?
Yeah, you can't do 2, but I've done
Yeah,
that.
so yeah. Well, I remember you riding with me like at midnight or something.
Yeah.
For you, yeah. Yeah, anyway, okay. All right, an FRR powerhouse. Here to talk about all things FRR, the Super 6, and everything else. Your friend and mine, James. Woo! James, welcome. Thanks for
Hello,
being here.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Hey.
yeah, but nice to be back, and looking forward to this. And I feel privileged to be on the first recorded episode of the podcast, and I've dressed appropriately for it.
Yes, you look
I'm very
fantastic,
smart.
man. I feel like a slob. I'm wearing a belt, but you can't really tell. But but you look fantastic, man. So thank you for that. Thank you. I'm gonna have to up my game now. And also, oh man, that brings a whole nother worry for me. Like, what if I can't wear the same thing twice on the video or something, or unless I wear it like every time? You know, it's like a cartoon. How the cartoon characters always wear the same thing.
Yeah, and you need to actually either wear the same thing every time, or
Right.
just remember to put clothes on, because you've done the podcast naked before, so you've got that.
Right.
And I was just thinking for anyone who is continuing to listen to the podcast, I am wearing my tuxedo and bow
Yes.
tie, looking rather dapper. Well, at least on the
Yes.
top half. I've got a pair of shorts on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because it's quite hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Where I am in the UK
Oh,
at the
man.
moment.
Yeah, and it's I know I'm feeling the same way. It was cold earlier when I put the sweatshirt on, but now it's actually kind of cool. Or I mean, kind of hot now. It was cool though earlier, but it's cool. It's a cool shirt. You can't really tell though. But yes, we are doing this video, and it will go out as video and audio. So it'll be video on Spotify and also on YouTube, and it'll be audio everywhere else. So yeah, feel free to jump in there, and everybody can watch it. I mean, today we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. And this is going to be fun. I mean, James, thanks for coming, man. And Josh was fresh from running into a tree, so he'll be back next time. and Gina couldn't make it today, and then Paul's on vacation. But don't worry, they'll be back. It's going to be fun. We're getting back into our regular rhythm. But, James, before we get too far into this, what have you been up to this week, man? We should catch up.
Yeah, Zwifting, not very much, because I've not really been able. I'd say I've not been able to get out on my bike very much. I just haven't had the motivation or just got the timings right. So I did the first stage of the rolling with envy on Monday actually, and it was looking good. I was in a front group going up that final lap, up the final part of the climb. And then the wheels fell off, and basically most of that front group rode away from me. So that was a bit of a shame, but that was good. It's the first, I say, proper race I've done for a little while actually, which was good. And then we had I obviously ride for Coalition, the same as Dustin. We had our welcome ride yesterday for new riders. So I was the sweeper for that, and we jumped in. We had it all in our stage sort of Discord channel. Becca, who was coordinating the ride, introduced me, and then my audio cut out, and I was that was it for the entire ride. And I just sat at the back and sort of dragged people along and chatted on chat. So yeah, it was a bit of from my side, I had this all big spiel about promoting and selling the FRR, and it was like straight couldn't do it from that side, which is a bit of a shame.
Oh man. Well, you can do it now. You can do it now or later.
We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
And then today I've just been fixing one of my bikes, so
yes.
that's been pretty cool.
Now,
not quite finished it.
You're gonna have to put a picture of that on the server, because it looks awesome. I love that black with tan walls on there. I've got that on my bike too. But
it looks pretty good. It's an old Cannondale hybrid bike that I've sort of turned into a gravel, but I've sort of Frankensteined it into a gravel bike. So just sort of re-putting it together because it's quite an old frame. Having the fun job of the likes of post mount to international
Yep.
standard mount for disc brakes. Yeah, fun times trying to get all that working. So next stage is to bleed the brakes or test how good my connections were. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a lot of
Oh.
dot fluid all over the floor, aren't I? So and
Oh
sketchy
man.
brakes. So we'll see how
And
that
then
goes.
so I learned this term because I've been riding my Ritchie P29, which I'm using for gravel. So it's a Ritchie G29 because of the gravel. But anyway,
Nice.
this term that is used now is called feral bikes, apparently. So that's when you're using a
Okay.
bike that's not for gravel, but you're using it on gravel. So yeah, I guess it's a feral bike. I don't know, man. It's still working for me, but we'll talk about that in a second. But then what about for yeah? I mean, so I like that though. It's gonna have a more upright position, which you're probably gonna like when you're out on the rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's the amount of spaces, and you'll see in the picture when I post it, are ridiculous. So I thought I'll take a few of them out, but because I've been used to it in that way, it works quite well.
Hmm.
And I'm not going sprinting on it.
Yeah.
I had put a Shimano group set on it, and the challenge that you had, the bottom bracket wasn't quite designed for 105, so it was
Um.
sketchy. Is probably the best way, where it was held on by about 1 millimeter.
Oh man.
And I did a gravel race on it and basically wiped out the front mech because it just got covered in mud and blocked up with mud.
Oh.
And then I sort of put that onto my bike that's currently on my trainer. And it's sort of been knocking around, and I'm I'm really bad. I'm quite lucky because I've got quite a bit of space around the house, but
Mm.
I'm really bad. I can't ever get rid of any bikes, so I've got
Oh.
all the bikes I've ever bought. So, and over the summer, I've just been putting them back together because I've got a hardtail mountain bike that I've had since early 2000s
Mm.
that I rebuilt and actually spent more money than buying the new version of it if I bought it new, which was pretty good. But it's got rim brakes, so it's
Oh
proper old
man.
school from that side.
Yeah.
And then this one as well, so it's quite good fun. But again, spent probably a bit more money than I had budgeted for. But once you start, you can't sort of stop, if that
Well,
makes sense.
I know exactly what you mean because I've been feeling the same way about my Ritchie. I've been putting money into it and I had to get both my wheels trued because well I sent them in to be trued. So I trued one of them and I was like, "Oh, this is fantastic. I am awesome. I need to be doing this to all my wheels." And then I put it on the bike and I like spun it and it still looks good. And then I put the tire on because I had to take my truing stand is so small that it's an old one, so it's not really built for 29-inch wheels. So I had to take the tire off. Anyway, put the tire on and everything, and it's going, it's spinning, but then it's like whomp like that and whomp like that, and it was just magnified by the tire. So I was like, oh boy, this is not good. So I brought it to the shop, and I got to give a shout out to Tostin at Smith's Bikes, smithsbikes.com. They're fantastic. Staff, everyone's there is fantastic. But he set me right and true, and I brought in my rear wheel too, and had him work on that too, and just to get that going. And I also had to have the free hub serviced on that because it was like clunking every once in a while when I was pedaling, and one of the pawls was like getting stuck, I think. So it just wasn't. It was like I don't know what the deal is, but but it's better now. But yeah, I'm stuck here. I'm in between things here for my bike choice, and I on Saturday, a week from yesterday, because we're recording this on a Sunday, is the Old Fashioned Gravel Race, oldfashionedgravel.com, and it's in the beautiful area of southeast Minnesota. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and I went and rode the second half of it that I hadn't ridden yet. I've ridden the first 30 miles, but I hadn't ridden the second 30 miles, or the first 40 and the second 30. Yeah, because I think it comes out to like 70 or something. It doesn't matter, even though it's only 60 miles. It doesn't matter. But I think maybe my math is wrong. Or no, I started in a different. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so I went out and did this ride, and it was fantastic, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It's got mountain bike tires on there, so it's like they're 55 inches or 55 centimeters, not inches, centimeters wide. So I feel super confident. I can bomb down anything. I can climb most things. But the bike is 31 pounds. So that's a lot of weight to be carrying around. And my road bike with gravel wheels is only like 21 or 22 pounds. So I don't know. And I know you and I, James, had talked about this earlier. But I mean, so my Damani, my road bike, is faster. But the comfort, I don't know if the comfort's going to be there. Because I have a 38 in the back and a 40 in the front. But I don't know. There's only probably about 10 out of the 60 that's probably going to be scary. The rest is probably going to be fine. I don't know. What do you think? Which bike
See,
do you think I should ride?
yeah, and we talked about this and sort of
Yeah.
was that trade-off. And I initially sort of sided with the comfort over the distance, but I think it'd be much more fun for you to do it on the Trek because
Yeah.
it's going to really hurt your bum and you're going to moan about it for weeks
Yes.
afterwards. So for
Yeah.
pure pain value, I think you should
Yeah.
go speed. I think speed trumps
Yeah.
comfort, Dustin. So that's where
Yeah.
you want to be.
And it is a race. If it was a
Yeah.
ride, maybe just go for the cool bike and everything. Yeah, that's a good point. Good
And
point.
I think if you said this, the gravel's not too aggressive, then I'd stick some
Mm.
23-inch tires on it and maybe go for full tubular ones as well, just to really, get that rolling
Yeah.
resistance bang on and also that
Oh.
comfort level to a minimum from that
Yes,
perspective.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, get them up to whatever 110 psi, and just
Oh,
really
yeah.
go for it. What's funny is my old road bike. It came with 23s on there, and I remember going to 25s and being like, this is the widest I will ever be, and then
Yeah.
now I've got like 32s on my road bike or something. And it's awesome. But but some people will ride this gravel ride on just regular slicks, but usually wider with some lower psi. The other part is that after this, that the week after this is when we have the USA National Gravel
Yeah.
Nationals is in our same area. It's a week later, and they're using some of the same routes. And this has also been weird because we've got like when I go out for a ride, I will see myself. That's it, and like maybe I'll see one other person. I've seen like 10 people at a time, and not like in a group. Some of them are in a group, but some of them by themselves. And it's like these roads are usually just desolate, and there's only maybe a tractor you got to go around or try and draft and or something like that. But it's been crazy. And I was talking to some of the locals because I know some of the people that live around here, and they're
Mm.
like, yeah, the traffic has been crazy. I was like, the traffic with cars, and like, no, with bikes. It's so many bikes, and like, and I saw some guy who passed me twice, which was kind of funny, going the opposite way. And so he must have been going on the national course, but good job. I mean, he was definitely going faster than I was. But anyway, so yeah, I've been doing that. I've been tapering a little bit. I've only been doing a couple workouts on Zwift, and those workouts are they're pretty easy comparatively. So they're like a zone 2, nothing too crazy. So nothing like if we can move on to some of our main talking points, we got to give it out to Matt Ladd. Let's give a shout out to Matt because and I know you had some of his statistics there, James, but he has been climbing more than anyone I know ever. Yeah.
Yeah, he has. He has. So I definitely agree. The one thing he hasn't been doing is racing, which is a
Yeah.
problem for the FRR because his velo score is like 0, if that makes sense. So
Oh
he
yeah.
was he was supposed to be doing a race up the Alp today. So I haven't checked to see if he's done it. But
I haven't either.
his numbers at the beginning of the year were crazy anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
his from June onwards, what he's been doing has been ridiculous. And bearing in mind, he's not going anywhere. He's in
Yeah.
his in his
His basement
place,
or something. Yeah. Yeah.
chugging it. He obviously has now a Zwift ride, so because
Yeah.
it's a shame. We should get. It'd be interesting if he's. I know he's posted some pictures over his one of the problems that basically his front derailleur fell off, but because he hadn't cleaned it or repaired it, it looked like for years, and it just sort of
Oh
ground
man.
paste from that side. But
Oh my gosh.
he was. I asked him sort of where he was, what his numbers were, because August has been ridiculous in
Yes.
some of the stuff that he's been doing, and just looking at some of the sort of stats. So his best day, I say best day, his day he's done the most climbing was on the 29th of August so far, because I'm sure he'll beat it at some point.
Yes.
And he did 30,206 meters of climbing on that day, one
Oh my
day.
gosh.
Ridiculous amount from there.
Yeah. That's almost
Uh,
100,000 feet. I mean,
yeah,
that's
and the numbers
yeah.
that he gave me for August, and bearing in mind he sort of cited to the 29th of August, he'd done 140,000 meters of climbing in
Oh
one
my
month on
gosh.
its own from that side. And he was saying that in the Tour de France, over the entire 3-week race, they do 89,000 meters of climbing And then he said, actually, he gave me a bit more details on that, and it was just ridiculous, the numbers of
Yeah.
where he's at from that side. And interestingly, I sort of asked him, but what's the plan? Where do you go from here?
Mm.
So he's very much on for doing 1 million meters of
Oh my
elevation
gosh.
this year. So the numbers that he needs to do from September to December are 2,606 meters per day to hit that, which is
Oh my
ridiculous. He,
gosh.
he said as of September the 6th, he'd hit 682,096 meters of climbing. So, yeah, it's crazy. The scary thing is, I think he'll do it, and I think he'll do it
Oh
with spare
yeah.
change. It's
Oh
just
man.
ridiculous.
Yeah. And I know that you joined him on one of the Ventop ascents, right? And I
Yeah,
t-
I did. He just complete. Well, he was trying. I sort of lost count of how many times he went up, but he
yeah.
has told me, so I should really
Yeah.
cross-reference the data that he gave me. But he was just going up and down like an absolute lunatic on it from there. So yeah, I joined him on that, and also we did the FRR charity day where he
Mhm.
did like a double Everest as well,
Yeah.
which sort of I think got him
Started all
going
this
in that
stuff.
way of
Yeah.
like, yes, I can do this. I can go from that
Yeah.
side. And whereas I, in the middle of the night, had a proper breakdown, had to get off the bike and just sat in the corner rocking. I think he did about 2 ascents in that time while I was sort of questioning all my life
Right.
decisions. But then again, if you're riding your bike in the garage at 3 a.m. in the morning, you
Right.
seriously got to get your head looked at, if that makes sense. But yeah, he's fantastic. My hat, I'd have to doff my cap to him for what he's doing and how he does it, and just the sheer sort of commitment and sort of
Mhm.
drive to keep getting on that bike and keep going up the climb. I hate climbing. I think
Yeah.
they should
That
level all the climbs in Zwift and just have it as a flat course. It'd be
well,
like a velodrome. That's all we need.
yeah, we do need a velodrome actually, but there, and but that Ventop, I remember last time I did it was for an FRR day, and I remember I went. Well, I had done it before, and I remember I said I'm never doing it again, and then I
Mm.
did it for the FRR day, and I was thinking I was going to do two of them, and I was adamant about that, and then I got off to like after the first one, and I think Matt had done like another ascent and descent at that time, and then when I had gotten done, I was all right. When I had gotten off, I was like, you know what, that's it. I don't think I could do
Well, he
any more.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
End of June, he did 18
yeah,
ascents of Ventop
yes,
in 45 hours. Ridiculous.
and
Ridiculous.
then I see that yesterday he did a base camp for recovery. So at 75 miles and with 5 hours moving time and 14,000 feet of elevation. So what is that? That's almost 5,000 meters or something. So
Mm.
that's
Oh,
incredible.
and he just jumps on and smashes that out after probably
Yeah,
jogging to work and back again as well.
yeah,
He's just ridiculous. But yeah,
yeah.
I have to
So
say, hats off to him. His drive to keep going, and I'm hopefully when we gets close to that a million mark, we'll get out on the road and join him from that side. But the one thing
yeah,
we
I
do
hope
need
so.
to do, Dustin, is get
Yeah.
that hour Alp challenge up and
Yes,
get
I
Matt to
know.
lead you out on that one. So we do
I
need to get that
know.
in the diary and get some of the
Yeah.
listeners involved as well. Sorry,
Yes, yeah.
viewers. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
viewers
Viewers and
now, isn't it?
listeners.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I know we can I wonder if I could live stream it. I got to we'll get that figured out.
yeah.
But man, the I was so close before, and then I've been training for this race and doing some longer efforts. So my pointy end power isn't necessarily there yet, but I think
Mm.
I can do it because the last time I was at 61 minutes or something, I think, and it was so close. Oh man, that was so rough when I didn't get it in under an hour. But I think with Matt's help or with your help, I think we can do it. Absolutely.
I think we can get a few people out on the Alp and make a bit of a party of it. I would say try and do a podcast, but I don't think that will work particularly well. That will
Yeah,
be a late
I
night one with the heavy breathing.
oh my gosh, yeah, I know. And that yeah, well, again, we can save that for the other podcast too, but the heavy breathing one. And it's that would be fun though. I'd be up for that. I think it would be cool. And well, you should do something where we have to eat like do you have circus peanuts there? Do you have those?
And we might do, but we're a nut-free house, so
Oh,
I have no idea what you're talking about from that side.
okay. I don't think they actually have nuts in them. They're
Oh, okay.
uh they're they're it's kind of like it's like people are gonna be upset, but the circus peanut is a flavor, and it's like they make them in different shapes, but they're like most of the time they look like peanuts, but they're I don't think there's any nuts in them. Anyway, but they're that flavor, and like some people love them or hate them. I can have like maybe 5, but it'd be fun to eat one of those every turn. To do 21 of those, boy, it would be really rough. They're only like maybe an inch or something long. Well, it depends on the kind you get, I guess. But and oh man, that flavor. Next time you go to the international store and see if they have any. But yeah,
I will Google it after the pod. Let's just say that, yeah, because
yes.
it. Well, I must admit, doesn't sound that appetizing. If I'll be politely honest with you.
Yeah, and I've done races before where you have to where like they were given hand ups of circus peanuts, and it was a mountain bike race, so things were a little bit crazy anyway. But and you get that taste in your mouth, and it's just it's like chalky marshmallow. I'm really selling it, really. So yeah, kind of melts in your mouth, and then like you eat one and you want to eat more. I don't know. Anyway, well, maybe I should send you some. That would be good. The most expensive circus peanuts ever. But oh man. Well, anyway. So that talking about Matt and all his ascents is a perfect segue into the Flamme Rouge racing, because James, I know we initially had talked about doing this. Talked about getting you on here to talk about this. Now we also the Super 6 is coming up, but then also the Tour of France is coming up as well. So we got a lot to talk about. What do you want to talk about first?
Let's get Tour of France out of the way, because it's easiest, if that makes sense. So we got Richard's got the Tour of France coming up. Starts 27th of September. Runs for 9 days, 8 stages. You've got Tuesday off, which is quite nice of Rich. Just in time for you to do ZRL as well. So if you're not cooked from doing 3 stages of Tour of France, and you definitely will by the end of it. It's really interesting because I think Rich has listened to some of the feedback around a few riders sort of saying, it's tough, especially some of our lower category riders where it's taking ages to complete the stages. So Tour de France eases you into the FRR Tour Series. It's just over, I think it's 318 kilometers in total. I should really check that. I did write it down. And I do know the elevation is 1,888 because I did add that up. So for an FRR Tour, it's quite flat, which is really good for me anyway, because I'm a sprinter. So I've got a chance of hanging on in GC for a little bit longer than I normally would do. And it's a good old fashioned. You've got obviously the opportunity to race for GC, go for the polka dot jersey, and also the sprints as well. So again, lots of opportunities to do that. I really like the Tour Series. But the challenge is fitting them in over life. But the good news about the Tour Series is the offers different race times during the day. I think there's about 7 or 8. So you can, depending on what's going on that day, you can juggle it around. So in the past, I've raced with a lot of colleagues and parts of our racing community in the US, but also tried to sneak the early ones in because you sort of balance around your working day and stuff that's going on. Unfortunately, Tour de France is in my busiest week of the year work-wise, so it'll be interesting to, I'm going into it with a view of doing all the stages, how competitive I am. Yeah, we'll see how it gets on. So the registration for Tour de France opens on Flamme Rouge Racing on the 12th of September, so that's towards the end of next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you're in coalition after this podcast is finished but not released, and this is sort of Sunday, the internal sign-up form will be published there as well. So looking forward to it. We like the Tour Series, so we'll see how that goes on. And also it's a good way to get you back into the swing of things, because if you've an eight stage race sort of blows the cobwebs away, and I definitely recommend anyone sort of wanting to try out that sort of format. It's a good one to do because
it's the hardest racing on Zwift. And it's just to do those. I've never completed an entire tour because I've either gotten sick or
Hmm.
had to miss too many stages. You know, like I started and then miss that. But and are you still able to do one stage at a time too if you register or yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do as many or as all or as little as you want. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I definitely acknowledge, yeah, I'd say, yeah, they are hard, but they are really
Yeah,
rewarding. And the
absolutely.
community
Yeah.
aspect, both within, if you're part of a team, that aspect, but also just everyone else racing, especially if you race at the same time each day, you'll
Mm-hmm.
start to sort of see riders who you're in theory racing against, but also you start building up a bit of a rapport and a
Yep.
bit of conversation and sort of a bit of a feel around it from there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I say it's quite immersive, and you see that with some other series. But I think for me, the FRR tours were the first ones, and the first ones that I sort of got into that sort of gave me a little bit of a sort of a love and a sort of a feeling to come back and beat myself up all over again. You know, there's
Yeah.
nothing like going up the Alp
Or
for an FRR event and then
the
realizing you made the decision to actually do it, and it's like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, the Five Horsemen was
God.
that was the one that was like that I couldn't make that one. That was the one I had gotten sick on. So I missed that one when that was last year or the year before, I think, or
Yeah,
but that
and
I still was burned in my brain. Like I couldn't remember, I couldn't believe that that was going to be a course. That was ridiculous.
we're gonna talk about the Zwift Click in a little bit, but my
Yeah,
batteries
yeah.
on my Zwift Play ran out going up the
Oh,
Alp on that race, and I was cursing it under the sun. It was all right because I was in a gear that basically I was not going to get out on. But I was like, oh, what am I going to do about
yeah.
this? So I was able to charge them up on on the descent. But
Oh.
I do remember going over the top, and I actually unlocked the lightweight wheels. So that was the first time I'd
Nice.
done that. So it has horrible and lovely memories all wrapped into one, which is probably the experience I'd play
Yeah,
out for most FRR events, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
yeah, so Tour de France coming up. It's yeah, it's good fun. If you can do any of the races, brilliant. If you're going to do a few, I'd definitely get involved in that. If just to fit it in around, and the flexibility of the time slots throughout the day,
Hmm.
makes it really easy to get involved in, and you'll meet riders globally, and
Yeah,
it's quite an exciting one from there. And then what you've got is
yeah,
the new
yeah.
series,
The new series, the
the
Super Six.
Super Six. Um, and yeah, that's really interesting to see how that plays out because it's quite an innovative racing format Rich has put together. So you've got teams that consist of 5 riders, but your squads can be unlimited.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think at the moment Coalition are having a problem with the unlimited end of the
Yeah,
spectrum with regards to recruiting riders. But yeah, we are recruiting in certain time zones. But it looks like we're probably going to have about 11 teams, so
that's
that's going to be
awesome.
really good. Both open teams and women's teams, but I'm always looking for more riders to try and boost those numbers up from that side. Now, those teams every race each of those 5 riders have a specific role to play, with one rider that's also nominated as a wild card rider, which makes up a different scoring format that comes into that
Hmm.
race. So you have general classification riders who get double points at the end of the race. You have sprinters, you have climbers, and they'll pick up points through the segments. So depending on your role, means that you've got a very different focus on the race as you go through. And all the segment points are all, from what I understand, all fastest through segments. So you don't necessarily have to be in the front group to score loads of
Hmm.
points. It's about how you do in that particular area. So it's going to make tactics and sort of the way that you shape your team and put out particular races quite interesting. So yeah, I'm quite excited by it because it's
Yeah,
new. There's a bit
this is
of a
gonna be
buzz
so
around it,
cool.
but yeah, but it's
Yeah,
also it'd be really interesting to see how the feedback comes in because the one thing
right.
which FRR is really good at is he does listen to what people say and he
Yep.
does adapt and just change and it's an iterative development of the series that he puts on, which is really really good. So
Hmm.
racing's on a Friday night. It's across 4 different time zones. Rounds are made up of 5 races, and there's the potential of promotion relegation, which is going to lead up to the crowning of a world champion. I think in March, sort of later in the
Wow.
year. So it's going to be quite exciting from that perspective, from that side. So really looking forward to it. I would say anyone across the board. If you're part of a team, see if they're participating, because you don't have to be able to race every week because of the
Okay.
flexibility of the team sizes.
Yeah.
You can sort of swap in. The teams are based on, and the divisions are based on velo ranking, so they're quite good because they're going to be competitive and they could be within a level that you can race in. Because the one criticism sometimes you have with sort of some of the ZRL and some of the Z racing schools is if
Yeah.
you're at the bottom of that category, you can be way off somebody who's at the top, and there's a real
Right.
mix on that side. So I found all the velo ranked races actually quite honest and true, and you've got a fair shout from wherever you are from that
Yeah.
side. So we'll be interested to see how it plays out. I'd say if your team's not holding up, putting any teams in, FRR are putting teams in and grouping riders together. So there's nothing stopping you participating. Obviously, if you're part of the coalition and that sounds interesting, check out the announcements channel. We are looking for riders both in EMEA and US East. We haven't got a lot of riders in US West time zone, which is I'm quite surprised by. But actually, looking at the spread and the timings, I just don't think it quite works, and that's
Right.
something we'll play back to Rich about how he develops it in the future. But yeah, I think there's a real opportunity in this racing format for whether you're an emerging powerhouse, you're a seasoned veteran, or you're just finding your feet in a racing environment to really have a go. And everyone's effort counts towards the collective success of the team. So one of the bits of comments I've had for a number of riders is, I'm not sure I want to take part because I don't think I've got anything to give. I'm a bit worried about coming last. Yeah, don't worry about that. I think the experience of taking part and also how the teams are being put together under the velo schools means it's going to be competitive. And also, depending on your role, your finish line is at a different point in the race in a way. Yeah, you'll get
Yeah,
points for
that's true.
finishing over
Yeah.
you'll get extra points for finishing over the finish line. But if you're a climber, if you're the first one up that climb, then you've done your job from that side. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think there's a real opportunity of that real camaraderie amongst the teams that I definitely you see in ladder, you see in ZRL as well. But the closest I'd say comparable is a bit of the ladder racing as well. And if it can build off how successful and enjoyable that is to participate as a rider, which I think it will do, and having that individual element of you have a role, you do it from there, I think this format can really explode and be something that can really grow. So I'm looking forward to see how it goes and how it develops. From somebody looking after some teams in a club, it's an absolute pain in the arse, Dustin. There's so much work
Yeah,
to
it's
set
gotta
it
be
up.
tough. Yeah.
We have
It,
everyone in every category saying, yeah, I'll do it. It's like, yeah, there's only one of you. How am I going to slot you into a team?
yeah,
So there's still some
exactly.
jiggling around going on. And I apologize to a couple of riders who I haven't quite updated them on where I'm going to slot them. But yeah, but that's worth the effort, if that makes sense, because I think we're going to
Yeah.
have an exciting series when that starts in October properly. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember hearing about this, and like I was like, oh, this is gonna be excellent if it can get all figured out.
Yeah.
I know Rich has been working on it for a while, him and his team, so that's so cool. And yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at those time slots because Fridays, I'm usually working on Fridays, but there are some times I might be able to make. So I've taken PTO for times, but for races before. But anyway, but yeah, this is gonna be awesome, man. This is gonna be awesome, and yeah, I can't wait to hear about how it goes. It's gonna be so cool. And also in the Flamme Rouge Racing shop is a callback to Matt Lads. He has a special T-shirt there too, so you should definitely check that out. And we should get a discount now for saying that. I think, don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I might get
Yeah.
we'll get Matt to sign it as well, so we'll
Oh
have a
my
personalized
gosh!
one.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's how it should be. They should all be shipped to him, signed,
yeah,
and then he needs to send them out. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, that would be cool. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that Rich has got to work on that. So yeah. All right, so let's talk about some of the new stuff that's going on here because this season on Zwift just dropped, and if you haven't seen it, there's plenty of videos on it. The Zwift Insider has its all usual coverage and everything. And I just want to go over just a couple of things that stood out to me. The biggest thing is going to be the new roads in New York City. How many times have you raced ladder in New York City and thought I never want to race here again?
Pretty much most of the times.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
also there's certain teams who sort of, I think when they go, because I raced for Coalition Xeon, so shout out to Coalition Xeon.
Yep.
But whenever we go, if we find out that we're going to New York, I'm having my hair done that day. Or
Yep.
I'm conveniently volunteering for DSing, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, because just get savaged, especially if you're going up
I
the
know.
climb.
And it's punchy. I mean, it depends on if you have to go up the New York KOM, oh my
Mm.
gosh, that's one of the worst KOMs in the game, I think.
I say the park perimeter, they're actually good
Yeah.
race routes.
Right. Yeah.
However, you definitely know about it after you finish the race. Let's just say that as you fall off in your own pool of sweat, questioning
Yeah.
your life decisions from that side. But
Yeah, it's definitely fun though. I mean, there are
mm,
some, but I do get tired of like oh come on, New York again. Aren't there any other places that we could go?
yeah,
I famously I can't remember the one that's like 1 mile loop is at LaGuardia loop or
I
something like
think
that.
so.
It's like really short. I have mistimed that sprint so many times that it's just comical now. Like I just need to not do it. So I mean, like I'm like I'll lead everybody out and then or I don't know, just blow up. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for some new roads. Always new roads are always fun, and I think honestly, I think that the graphics team at Zwift does a good job. I
Mm.
think they have lots of cool Easter eggs and things that are going on in the background that you don't normally see, and like if you're going slow like I am, then you can then you can see it. So it's super cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And we don't know what those aren't going to be coming out until November. So that's okay. It'll be nice to have that there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they get incorporated. I'm really interested because the imagery that I've seen has been all around Brooklyn Bridge,
Yeah, I
and
saw that too. Yeah, yeah,
so you're hoping that that's incorporated into it. I think that'd be really, really good. I'm interested to see
yeah,
how they transition out of the existing obviously Central Park
yeah,
into this, because obviously they've done it in slightly different ways. In obviously London out to Surrey Hills, you
yeah,
go through the underground and sort of pop yourself out again. And Mercury, you from
yeah.
Neoko
Same.
to Mercury, you go
Yeah,
sort of under from there. So it'd be really interesting to see. I think it's similar to you, Dustin.
yeah,
I love new roads.
yeah,
I might not love them as much if they're hilly, but we'll see how that fits together. But yeah, it's
yeah,
good to see the again developing the worlds and
yeah. And I
giving us
think
more routes.
yeah, I think the subway is probably how they're going to do it. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing, just because that makes sense. Exactly for those reasons that you said that. And that'll be definitely cool. I wonder though, I've only the last time I was in New York was in 2018 or 2019 or something. It was a long time ago, and we did go through Central Park, and it was amazing. But I know that there's how like in Mercury Islands how they have like the dogs jumping up and down on the
Yeah.
sides and stuff like that, and there's a very famous rat problem in New York. Are we going to see giant rats on the side fighting or anything?
There's definitely some opportunities for
Yes,
the
definitely.
non was it the NPC characters to be a bit more imaginative. So it'd be interesting to see what they do from that side actually.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Like, there's a rat, or like, because like the whole thing, like with the Sasquatch, which I still have never seen Sasquatch. Have you seen him?
Yes, but I think I
Oh,
also
or the Yeti? Sorry, the
and
Yeti. But yeah.
but only initially because one of our colleagues screenshot it, went past, and it was about.
Oh,
Obviously, I had the misfortune of going up the Alp. Was it 7 times in the for the FRR charity day, and I think
yeah.
I saw him then. But then again, I also might have been hallucinating. So
Right.
I didn't screenshot it. So
Yeah.
I think I saw him, but I might have made it up.
Well, because there's like one corner, and I can't remember the corner number, but
Yeah.
like there's like a trunk of a tree, and like with arms like that, and you're like, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is, and like, oh, it's just a tree. So I don't know, and yeah, I don't know. I still need to see him. Haven't seen him. So
Yeah,
anyway.
I say it'd be nice in New York to have the steam coming out of
Oh, out of the vents and
the
everything.
sewers and the things from
Yeah,
that. That'd be quite cool. Yeah, it'd be
and
interesting to see.
rats,
Interesting to see what
rats.
it comes up with. Yeah, I'm not so much of a fan of the rats, Dustin. I can leave them, but clearly there's something that you want to see there, especially if they
Oh,
could
oh my
think.
gosh. Oh, sorry. I just had the great idea. Instead of that, they need a tie-in with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's who we need to see.
Yeah, that'd
Yes.
be quite cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe Shredder or something. I don't know. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. There we go. And is there going to be a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming out? Because that would be a nice brand tie-in if they did that. But anyway, sorry. Okay, all right. I'm not exactly too. I'm scared of rats too. I think I would be nervous. Well, I'm scared of mice. I've never seen a rat before in person. I've only seen them on TV, but they look huge. So anyway, speaking of TV, so the Zwift Click and Cog, the new Zwift Click and Cog, that thing looks awesome. And
Mm.
I've moved to a kicker bike, but I've wanted to get those, and now it makes more sense for me to get them. However, I'm also on Apple TV, so and the newest Apple TV is coming out, but it won't work unless it was an MFI controller, which I had to look what an MFI thing is. I'm not an iOS user except for my Apple TV, so that's a made for iPhone or made for iOS,
Okay.
that kind of controller, and they can have up to 4 controllers hooked up to that. So I'm thinking, man, Zwift, if you are able to get that license where you're MFI, then we wouldn't need the companion bridge, and you could use that because. Well, I don't know. I worry about my phone crashing or something, or like during a race and not being able to use it. So I don't know. And also, well, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I used to use our Apple TV and Bridge because I've run the Play controllers, and I never had a problem with that. And I've since moved to a PC, but I have just
Yeah.
checked my PC because it's running Windows 10, and
Ah.
it's not upgradable until I change the chip effectively.
Yeah.
And I need to decide what I'm going to want to do. So it's fine for the moment, but I might switch back to the to Apple TV and use the Bridge again from that point of view. But what I do like about the new Swift clicks, I'm going to call it clicks. There's two of
Yeah.
them.
Clicks makes more
It has
sense
to be
than
like that.
clicks. Yeah.
Is the problem that I have with the plays on my handlebars is they do take up a bit of space. So your hand position around them mainly on the drops and sort of being able to is slightly compromised. Well, at least is for me. So while I have the plays and they work perfectly fine, I'd be interested. I would consider getting them. One, because the price point's actually really good.
Oh
So
man.
fair play to
Yeah.
Zwift for getting that right. They could sell the clicks on their own. That'd be better because I've got more cogs than I can shake a stick at.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I like how they take up less space. It's going to give you more freedom on your handlebars from that side. So so I think this is quite a good evolution from that perspective. And looking forward to this might be on my Christmas shopping, well, my Christmas list. If that makes
Yeah.
sense to go on from there.
Yes. Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing, the same exactly actually. Because I would really like to get them, but I don't know. The bridge might be okay. I just worry about my phone crashing. But I did get a new phone, so maybe that's not an issue anymore. But my old phone would crash every once in a while on the Zwift Companion app, and that's scary.
That's all right. I did a ladder race. Well, I didn't do a ladder race a week ago, over a week ago, where I was in the pen, then I wasn't in the
Mm.
pen, and they started. That was me over and done with.
Ah.
So yeah, and a similar thing happened to the team we played on Friday because I was DSing, and they lost one of their riders in the pen, which is great for us. Happy days. We'll take that
Yeah.
every day of the week because we
Yeah.
need the points. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But otherwise, tends to be pretty stable. If that makes sense. So
Right.
I've never when I was using the companion app to Bridge, never had a problem with it. But
Mm.
there is that. It's a bit like if you own an electric car. There's always that fear of you running out of battery, isn't there? So
Yeah. Right, yeah, and it's also one more thing. Like, do I need to deal with one more thing? I don't know. It's because the Apple TV is just so easy. I mean, it
yeah,
hooks up and we're there. Although it is funny that in a world of all these wireless things and everything, I almost wish I could just plug my trainer into the back of the TV, or the back of the Apple TV, just because then I wouldn't worry about it at all. But because when I had my Kicker 5, I had that hardwired to the Ethernet because that was safe and it was on. It was always there. And I have the Apple TV hardwired. I have like a 50-foot long
yeah.
cord, but whatever, it works. It works. So yeah. Anyway, but speaking of racing though, man, and this is ZRL is coming back. Zwift Racing, the Zwift Racing League is coming back, and this is coming up now. I know that some people are for what you mentioned earlier, like if you're in the bottom part of your category A, B, C, or D, then you're usually getting blown out the back. But and the segment battle points never came to fruition, which was too bad. But like Rich Vale at FRR has figured out how you can do this, with the Super 6 thing, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see how that. Although it's got to be crazy to sort out all the details, but hopefully a computer can do that for them. But for WTRL and ZRL for Zwift Racing League, yeah, things are going to be are a little different. They're just regular races like on every Tuesday night, and it's so weird to not be racing on a Tuesday night. I know I raced a couple times on other nights, and I raced on a Monday night not too long ago, and even the lady who I live with who smells so nice, we were both thrown off all week because we were like, is today, or because the next day would usually be Wednesday, and anyway. But so it was definitely weird. Yeah, I mean, I took out the garbage out one day too early because it's always the garbage days the next day for us. So I was like, why is that out? And anyway, something got into it. And anyway, that doesn't matter. But so what ZRL category are you going to be racing? Are you up to B? And now you should be.
I should be.
Yeah.
I think is the answer there, Dustin. No, I am a. I haven't done that much over the summer. I've progressed massively, and for those who are watching our recording, they'll see occasionally I keep drinking a beer, which has not helped my 20-minute power output. So
oh man,
I'll be captaining and racing for Coalition Distortion in Maya Shamrock, I think we're going to be in.
Yeah.
Because they've obviously changed. They've changed all the division timings as well. Not divisions. They're divisions, isn't it? Okay, so which is quite good because we were previously, I think, in Maya East West, which surely puts you at the same place from there. So we're racing in that. Got the team together. It looks like again across Coalition, there's been a strong interest in the Zwift Racing League. I'm really interested to see how obviously they've got the open women's categories. We've also got this development category that they've introduced this year, which is going to be interesting to see how that works and how that fits in from there. So the development category is aimed at the lowest 60% of each category. And it's great they say it's great for riders on the rise or anyone who as we talked about, you race, but you're never going to beat your top end of that cat. So fair play to WTRL for at least trying to do something from there.
Yeah, they got to try.
It's interesting that they haven't changed using the Zwift Racing score to sort of categorize the riders. But we'll see how that plays out over the year. What is definitely interesting is also the rounds have changed. I don't know if you noticed this sort of Dustin from that side, and almost branded as well in a different way, if that makes sense. So
right. Yeah, they are. And then, but one thing I thought about when I was looking at the development league thing during the whole, all summer or all year last year, whenever you're doing, they have all these other races that you can do like on Zwift that are Zwift Racing, the Zwift Racing series or whatever it is, and they have like the high range and low range. So it's like they're so close. Why can't we get this put together like with that? Because it would almost be easier to sort it by racing score, you would think. Like if you have a team, like we're both captains. I'm captaining Epiphany in I think lilac or lavender or light purple. I can't remember which one it is, but so we're doing one of those, and that's 7:30 Eastern in America. So if you're in that category, I'll be in the C category in the pen. And anyway, like I just don't understand like how we can't like say like, okay, if you're development or maybe they have said it, I guess, but development league, what's it called, development league or developmental
league, I think. I don't know. I should really look.
Yeah. Well, anyway, in that league, they're gonna they should say like you're from this score to this score, because there's gonna be people in there that are sandbagging that are sitting at the top, but maybe they can get weeded out. I'm not sure.
I think it's measured by I was looking at it a couple of seconds ago and now I lost it. I think
it's all right.
They can by looking at either the Z map or the two scoring criteria from there. So
Z map and
they must
ZFTP.
They're clearly doing something behind the scenes. Well, I'd hope they're doing something behind the scenes to sort of ensure that issue doesn't take place, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the couple of rounds. So, I think part of me is also it's difficult because for the Zwift Racing, the format it's been like it works. It's the biggest mass participation esports cycling. I think esports generally. No, I think esports cycling event that runs, and there are thousands of people who get involved. So they're clearly getting something right, despite the mumbles and grumbles about it from there. I do like the sort of the look and feel of some of how they split the rounds up. I do think they sorted out the last round a bit better because obviously the semi-finals and the finals is a bit of a whitewash in regards to if you could actually get a team out, you did quite well. And I say Coalition Distortion were very, very lucky to win the Emmaus Shield. So we'll be sporting our ZRL kits. I really wanted the helmet, and we needed to come second, so we didn't sandbag enough to finish second, so I could get the hat. So annoyed about that because I've got a kit that I'm not really ever going to wear. So that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, yeah, but if you had the helmet, you could wear it with your kit. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, well, this is gonna be fun. It always is fun. Yeah, even despite the grumblings and stuff. I know there's the thing I miss the most is just that you think about how DRS did it and how DRS were able to make it work with the velo ranking and everything. Like if they can do it on a smaller scale, why can't we do it on a bigger scale? But maybe that's it. Maybe it's just because it's such a bigger scale. So, but that could be it because there are thousands of people racing. So, but
yeah, I'd agree with you there. I just think the pace of change they can make, and obviously the dirt racing season is having a little bit of a pause. Hopefully those guys will get back together and we'll have some dirt racing series action at some point over the sort of, I'd say, the indoor season, depending on where you are around the world. But so I think it's good. While that first round is going to be horrendous, because for me in my head that first round is thinking that I'm going to be sort of the front end of races and then not being at the front end of races is going to be a bit of an emotional shock. But
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
It's getting that almost, and you said it, that Tuesday night, getting back into that routine and actually working towards something. Because I think the problem that I've had, especially over the summer, I've not had a goal. I've not had something to work towards. And then all of a sudden, you've got Zwift Racing League, you've got FRR Super 6, you've got FRR Tour. I haven't been able to do any of the Ecro just because of the timings, but the teams that I've seen and the people participate have looked like they've really sort of enjoyed and really done well out of that. At some point, I'll race ladder again, so not come last, but we're not quite there yet. So I'm quite happy sitting sort of DSing on that one.
Yeah.
And I think give it 2 or 3 months, you get back in the swing of things and your fitness improves just because you're so engaged with that. I think that's a real value. So anyone sort of dipping their toe into racing, any of those events, get involved because it makes such a difference. Structured training on the turbo is brilliant, it's fine, but actually racing is where it's at. Just that community, that buzz, and that feel is what people need to get involved in. It's why I'm still on Zwift. And my one regret from when I started was it took me about a year before I actually reached out and got involved in a team. And
same here. Yeah, I always thought that I'm not fast enough. I don't want to hold anybody back, but that's not how it is. You just got to go, and I mean, there's spots for everybody. There's racing for everybody. So, and it's fun. Exactly for what you were saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But I agree. Yeah, I wish I would have done it sooner too. But one thing it is interesting though that each one of these rounds is only 4 races long. And there's, we start in September and we're done in April, and it was about the same last year. But we were probably 5 or 6 races each time. So I wonder why they shortened it. There's got to be a reason, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know I didn't race the first couple of series, and they were 8 races from what I understand, what I remember. Yeah. And then they sort of switched down to 6, and 6 felt right. The problem that I had, and the problem that I always moaned about, is you had 2 team time trials, and for me that skewed it. And I think my frustration, which you saw delivered in something like the Dirt Racing League, and to some extent in FRR, is trying out and delivering different race formats. And I think previously I said it on the podcast when we did that one race. It was horrific. Up the Sker, where it was basically you went up the Sker, turned around and came back again until the time out. Was a brilliant concept.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Simple, simple,
Yep,
but brilliant. And they never followed up, never did anything again on it, which
I
is a real
know.
shame because just changes that dynamic. And for me, that
Right.
was like, okay, how do you tackle this?
Yeah, do you go up again? I remember that race because I was racing in B at the time, and
Hmm.
I remember the guy who was leading Bob on our team. He's like, I was like, all right, we're going, here we go, and then like, all right, we're done, we don't have to go up again. And he's like, oh man, this guy that he was racing with, he wants to go up. Oh, let's go, and and he had to get out all up as far as he could, but. Oh man, yeah, that was cool. That was really neat. But yeah, ITT or TTTs are more than one is too much. I think one is too much, but I do get it that that's the like WTRL's bread and butter is their
Yeah.
that. So it's kind of like advertising for that, but still
And
though.
at least in a four race series, it really focuses on it, and there is only one, and they tend to be 2 points and one scratch. So it does mix. So it's a bit of a different challenge. But it'd be nice if there was an alternative format, if that makes sense.
And then, one thing that I definitely struggled with as a captain, and you probably did too, is fielding a team every week. Because sometimes, I mean, life happens. Sometimes you get water in your basement or whatever, and you can't race. That's happened to me. Or lots of things. You can't get home from work in time. Stuff like that happens. So, trying to field a team, and then if you have because if you have like 6 or 7 people on a team, that's almost ideal because then you can rotate people. But you don't want everybody sitting out every week either. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's a massive catch-22 because the biggest problem you have is what's your sweet spot of your squad and
yes,
how motivated are they to be able to go. So I obviously bribe my team with coffee mugs if they've done a race. That's how I get my I buy people's loyalty, which sounds really
yeah.
bad when you say it that way, actually. Um, but there is a
Oh
challenge around it because you get some, as you said, life happens and sometimes you
yep,
can't get a full team out from there, and it just is what it is, and you just can't beat yourself up about it from that side.
right,
We last year in the coalition in MASC sort of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit where we stretched too many teams, and then we sort of had too many riders across the team, so we set up another team, but then we cut ourselves too thinly. So
yeah,
there is a bit of a balance on that, and I think there's a big shout out to anyone who's captaining a team in ZRL or the ones who have volunteered to do
yeah,
FRR Super 6. There's a lot of work goes into it behind the scenes that people don't see, and also there's a lot of stress to get a team out, especially on a Tuesday as well,
yeah,
that people don't necessarily sort of understand. So definitely, if your captain asks you something, try and get back to them as quickly as possible.
yes,
They're trying to make the experience as good and just to
yeah,
try and get the team out from there. And yeah, and they're keeping the everything together. So big shout out to every captain.
yes,
However,
absolutely.
anyone in our league in ZRL, if you can be a little bit worse than me, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be good. Right, right. Yeah, and this is a friendly reminder: if you get sent a race pass, please click on it quickly, because that that's one of the biggest things, biggest pet peeves is like, okay, I don't know if they're there, I don't know if they've seen this message, I don't want to send them another message because then I don't want to be like spamming them that they're getting their message. Yeah, hey, did you sign up? Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. Well, so yeah, I think we've gotten this, man. This is gonna be good. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for this. And hey, James, look, we made it. We made it to the end here. We're on video. Hopefully, people are still watching or listening. Yeah, I don't know, either one.
Yeah, well, we've enjoyed ourselves, so I don't
Yeah,
really care about anyone else.
that's a good point. We'll be back again. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, yeah, and so. Thank you for everybody who's watching and for everyone who's listening. This is going to be interesting because people asked about like if they could see us record this. They want to see how the waffles are made, and this is it, man. It's very glamorous. Yeah, I mean, you can see my guitar. We do those live. I remember people have asked me like if we do those live or pre-recorded, and I usually do them live. And yeah, it depends on the. I switched to acoustic because too many people were offended by my choice of distortion, but but that's okay. That's okay. It's to each their own. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah. So again, thank you everybody for listening to us and for for listening to us. That's really funny too. For listening to us talk about this. But then thanks for for listening every week. And please join our Discord server. You can always send us an email. I do check it, and someone on staff definitely gets back to you. Usually within 2 weeks or in a couple days. Shout out to all the captains and all the teams, everybody starting this week or next week when you're starting this, and shout out to everybody who's doing the old-fashioned gravel because that is going to be something else. And if you're coming down to La Crescent, Minnesota for the USA National Gravel National, please send me a message so we can go pre-ride the course or do something because I'm planning on doing that. So, James, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to send out?
Obviously, to all the teams who have to part with me. So shout out to Coalition Xeon, Coalition Distortion, who are going to be bullied via Discord for the next sort of 5 weeks. Sorry about that. Yeah, and look forward to seeing everyone out riding in Watopia over the next week or so.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So with that, I'd like to give a shout out to Coalition Unaramum. I don't understand the title of this. I thought it was uranium. I'm like, oh, uranium. Okay, that makes sense. But no, it's like Unaraman. Yeah, it's not spelled. I don't know. Have you seen that title? I don't even know. But anyway, shout out. That's my new. That's my new team. I got demoted, so to that team, I guess.
That's all right. You should see some of the team names that Reese has given me for the FRR. So yeah, obviously. Everyone should sign up to the FRR Super 6 to make my life a little bit easier. That'd be lovely.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Well, James, you look fantastic, man. And thanks for coming on and doing this. And thanks again, everybody, for listening. And we'll see you in Watopia. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And